Hello and welcome to Workplace 20. I'm your host, Mrs. Clausen. We're going to talk about using formulas. So really, the reason that we have to solve equations in this course is so that we can get the skills that we need in order to be able to use formulas, because there are a lot of formulas in this class. So when you have a formula, you can either move around the letters and then substitute in, or you can put the numbers in and then move the numbers around. So we're going to take a look at that. So in this question, here's my formula. M is equal to y over x, and I'm asking for m, y is 10, and x is -2. So I'm going to substitute in for the equation. So we work downward. I don't know what m is, so I'm going to write m down where it is. And instead of writing a y, I'm going to write 10, because y is 10. And instead of writing an x, I'm going to write -2. So m is just 10 over -2. So remember that this means a divide sign. The fraction is the same as the divide. So 10 divide -2 gives me -5. So you're just using that formula. Let's look at a couple of more. So S is equal to 4 pi r squared. And I'm telling you that r is equal to 3. So we're just going to substitute in. So I don't know what S is. 4 pi times 3 squared. So I'm putting in a 3 for my r. So now when you're doing this, depending what kind of a calculator you have, you may be able to just enter this exactly as is. You should have a pi button on your calculator. So 4 pi bracket 3 bracket squared. You may have to do the order of operations. So you may need to do 3 squared first and then multiply by 4 and by pi. So you just need to kind of get to know your calculator. So figure out how you need to plug that in, but you should get an S value of 113.1. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. It's a horrible, ugly looking formula, but we can do this. So here's my big formula, telling you that P is 500, R is 0.05, N is 2, and T is 5. So I'm going to substitute in. I don't know what A is. My P is 500. Got this big bracket, 1 plus 0.05 over N, which is 2, big bracket, NT, so that's side by side means I'm multiplying those numbers, so 2 times 5. Okay, so again, you may be able to just substitute this directly into your calculator, depending on the calculator you have. If not, you're going to need to do inside of the brackets first, so 0.05 divided by 2, add it to 1, get an answer there to the power of 10, and then multiply by 500. So you go ahead and put that into your calculator, but you should end up getting an A value of 640.04. Okay, so those first three, you were just subbing a number in and solving for the variable that was already isolated. These ones I'm going to be asking you to move some things around, so you're going to need to use those problem solving skills or those equation solving skills a little bit. So my formula is V is equal to L times W times H. I give you the V, the L, and the H, and we're going to find W. So I put in my number for V, which is 196. My L is 6. I don't know what W is. And my H is 8. Now these three numbers on this side, so these are all multiplying, so you can multiply in any order that you want. So we want to move the 6 and the 8 away. We could do that by dividing, or we could take our 6 times 8 and make it into a number, which generally people like that a bit better. So I have 6 times 8 is 48W. And then to solve that, for W, I'm going to divide by 48 on both sides. That's just a one-step equation. So 196 divided by 48 gives you 4.1 for a width. Okay, let's look at another one here. So my formula for this one is surface area. This is the surface area formula for a cylinder, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But surface area is equal to pi r squared plus pi rh. And I'm going to give you the surface area value and the radius value, so we're going to plug into that. So my surface area is 565 equals pi times my radius, which is 10 squared, plus 2 times pi times my radius, which is 10, times the height. Ones like this will always kind of throw people for a loop, so I say take your calculator and turn this part into a number and turn that part into a number, and then it all of a sudden looks a lot better. So I'm going to do nothing with that 565 yet. Pi times 10 squared is going to give you 314, plus 2 times pi times 10 is 62.8 times h. Now it's just a two-step equation, so maybe a little bit easier to deal with. The numbers are still maybe a little bit ugly, but we want to deal with the moving of the adding and subtracting first. So I'm going to subtract 314 from both sides. So 565 take away 314 is 251 equals 62.8 times h, and then I need to divide by 62.8 because it's multiplying. So 251 divided by 62.8 gives you an h value of 3.999, so it's 4 is my h. Okay, so it's a little bit tougher when you have to move things around, but if you just remember to make things into numbers and then use your skills, you should be good to go. So I want you to go ahead and practice those questions, and when you are done and you're feeling good, you're going to complete a mastery check.